Hello! I am Aoileipe, and I like to hop into top tier air arcade matches in War Thunder, and then personally kill the entire enemy team by myself because top tier air arcade is sheer madness. Welcome to my channel! Alright, I got my F-16C here, and I'm going with my shotgun loadout, which is a fun combination of aim 9Ms and nothing else. Anyways, I'm going to sneak around these mounds on the edge of the map, and then flank the enemy team. This map is all about using terrain to hide and dodge missiles. And if you know how to do this, and the other team doesn't, then seal clubbing ensues. My flank managed to surprise the enemy players, and I rolled up a big chunk of their team right off the bat. I pulled the replay, and one of the enemy players said, quote, like playing blind with you guys towards the end of the game. And that means I was doing this right. I spent the whole game sneaking around canyons, surprising people with aim 9Ms until the entire enemy team died because I killed everyone. Arcade is awesome because you can carry enough ammo to kill the entire enemy team. That means there's no skill cap. Now, I'm about to jettison my drop tank early, and the reason why is because in a second you're going to see an F-14 and an F-5. And if they had come after me, I might not have been able to get over a ridge and take cover before they energy trap me with missiles. So I'm going to plan ahead and jettison my drop tank early just to get a bit more speed. Then I can reload in peace, so let's fast forward through that. Missiles don't go through mountains, and this is the mountain map, so I just stick near mountains and jump behind one whenever someone launches a missile at me. I'm better at this than the enemy players, so I'm just going to pop up, whittle down their team, vanish, reload, and repeat until their team's dead. As a side note, part of me dies inside whenever I see a poorly flown MiG-21S. Just a tragic way to cap off my third triple kill. The MiG-21S is my favorite plane, and it's one hell of a skill cannon in the right hands. I just see so much wasted potential whenever I waste one, I guess. Also, go watch my MiG-21S videos if you really want to see me drive people insane with R3Rs. And I don't mean insane as a metaphor or an exaggeration. That's because part of the team delete strategy for the MiG-21S is baiting enemy players in chat so they attack you, and then shooting them in the face with radar missiles. And that's all done in order to save gas. People will occasionally go on these wild revenge quests after I pull that trick on them. No other plane produces nearly as much salt. I mean, the F-16C is pretty overpowered at the moment, but it's also a rank 8 plane. The MiG-21S is rank 6, and rank 6 players are just a really grumpy group of people. So anyways, back to narrating the game. So what I just did in like the last 30 seconds was I flew around shooting people, and then I would dip behind a hill whenever they tried to shoot back. They never got the opportunity. So at this point I have 2 missiles left, and I was considering just jettisoning them to get a tactical reload. But I also happened to be near the spawn, so I figured I might as well just shoot a few people when they spawn in and then get the reload timer going, because why not? I am a terrible person after all. I don't get why there's so much hoopla over spawn camping. The way you win in top tier is to figure out how to rig every engagement before it begins. Spawn camping is simply the obvious way to do that, but it's almost never the best way, which is why I almost never bother spawn camping. It really is the noob's idea of a cheap kill. Using speed, terrain, and distance is far more effective. Plus, as this F-4S is about to demonstrate, spawn camping puts you in a pretty vulnerable position if someone competent ever fights back. This situation with the F-4S is pretty dicey, so I'm going to cut right under him and force him to do a 180-degree turn to come after me. If you've seen my missile guide video, this is the quintessential Bill Buckner maneuver. That gives me an energy advantage, and I'm going to use that energy advantage to run for these ridges so that I can dip behind a ridge every time he launches a missile at me, because the missile doesn't go through the mountain. On a map this small, a proper dogfight will be decided by whoever's teammate shows up first to shoot the other guy down for you. I can outturn this guy, but I can't outrun him. However, it still makes sense for me to try to outrun him, because the closer we get to my team, the more of an advantage I will have. Now, this is the critical moment of the fight. He swings too wide, so rather than forcing a turn fight, I realize I can just keep outrunning him. So even though I don't have many countermeasures left, I'm going to fly straight ahead of him, he'll take an easy missile shot, but then I dip behind this ridge. And then I'm able to get across this narrow mountain pass and get behind another ridge before he has time to get me with another missile. I then fly low over my own airfield. My teammate wound up shooting down that F-4S for me, but if that didn't happen, the F-4 would have had to either fly low over my airfield and get shot down by my team's AAA, or he would have had to turn around and bled even more speed, giving me an opportunity to fly up and over the terrain and rain down aim 9Ms on him from above, where the angles wouldn't provide him any cover. And that's how you rig a fight. So I'm all set up now to go make another run on this enemy team. And I launch, but then, there's a missile coming at me. So I'm going to dive behind this ridge here before the missile can hit me. And because remember, you can have all the countermeasures you want, but the most effective way to dodge a missile is to put a mountain between you and the missile. And any plane is capable of flying behind a mountain. So I'm going to take down this F5, and by the way, I recorded this game right after the patch came out, so that F-111 there is actually the very first F-111 I've ever seen in the game. And he's not gonna vark for very long. At this point, there starts to be a bit of a lull because the enemy team is running low on planes, so I'm gonna fast forward through that. And then this F4S shows up, and I decide, you know what, it's time for a gun kill. But he winds up being extremely difficult to actually hit. I mean, I do get a few hits in, but there's no critical damage. And I eventually remembered that, oh yeah, that's right, I have AIM-9Ms. So I just empty a few of those into him. I need to get my reload timer going on those anyway, so let's fast forward through the reload. So my first target is this A-10, but I launch a missile at pretty much the exact moment someone else blows him up. So that was a bit of a bummer. And as you might have noticed, I'm really low on fuel because I had to drop my my drop tank early, and I've been using my afterburner a lot. I do that so I have enough speed to deal with any potential threats that might come at me. You know, be prepared in advance. And if I land for gas, the game will probably be over by the time I get back in the air, so I'm going to push my plane just a bit longer. This F-4C and I are going to fire at each other, and I'm going to duck behind a ridge, but he doesn't, so he dies. Then I see this A-10 in front of me, another A-10, so he dies too. It is now really time to land for gas. So I decide to fire off a hail of AIM-9Ms at this AV, just spamming that poor guy with every AIM-9M I have left, looking for some sort of Hail Mary kill. Not only do I kill him, but as it turns out, that was actually the last enemy plane, and their tickets start plummeting. So instead of landing, I throttle my engine down and stay in the air, just so that it looks cooler when I put this game in the victory reel that I use as a video intro. I only wound up with 16 of my team's 36 kills, so not quite half, which is a bit disappointing. Hi, so right after I finished editing this video, I got a 21-0 kill streak on this exact same map with the exact same plane, and I just didn't feel like redoing my voiceover. That game played out almost the exact same way, right down to me running out of gas at the moment it ended. The only differences were that, one, I paused mid-kill streak to explain to the enemy team how to defeat me before killing them all anyways, and two, my plane said 3200 on it instead of 3000 on it because I'm obnoxious enough to write my subscriber count on my plane as I kill people. And I had to update the number because my channel is growing slowly but surely. Feel free to make it grow faster. I'll post a link to the raw footage of that other match in the video description. And if you like this video, here are some others you can watch.